Good Sunday morning to you all. Hopefully you're either getting ready for church or you're getting back from church. You're getting together with people who are like-minded today to work together, to partner together in life as well as in making an impact or difference in your community. Whatever that looks like for you today, hopefully that's going well. Now, a lot of you guys really find a lot of value in store reviews, deep dives into what's going on here in this particular location, not just talking about what generally is happening in stores all across the United States, but really doing a deep dive here in Pittsburgh to see if there are any developing issues and then seeing if there's any confirmation from you guys out there. So we're going to be diving into some of the stores here in the Pittsburgh area, looking at the pictures, and then you guys telling me whether you're seeing the same kinds of things or whether you're seeing something very, very different. All right, friends, without further ado, let's jump right into the pictures. One of the first things we're looking at these days is the eggs, right? Now, egg availability here in Pittsburgh seems to be pretty good. Prices are just ridiculous, but unfortunately, they're probably going to get more ridiculous in the coming weeks or so. We got a lot more cullings of egg-laying hens, so that's going to continue to impact us over the next number of weeks, months, and we're going to have availability issues as people are inflexible in, reducing the amount of eggs that they purchase. If they don't reduce their amount of eggs they're going to purchase, the price is going to go up a lot more. If people really do start pausing their purchasing of eggs, that should keep the prices a little more reasonable. One of the things I've been noticing, of course, has been the impact on the dairy sections. Now, what I didn't see yesterday was too big of an impact on the milk itself. A lot of you guys are seeing impacts on the milk section directly. I'm seeing a lot more knock-on effects to like the yogurts, the cottage cheeses, and some of the soft cheeses. That's where I'm seeing the impact. So some of the yogurt sections kind of knocked out here. Not all of them and not the majority of them even. Yogurt seems to be doing fairly well. Overall, you may have to get a different variety than what you had hoped for, but as we'll see, cottage cheese is hard to find these days. Decaf coffee there seems to be impacted more than regular coffee. Availability on regular coffee seems to be doing okay for now. Prices are going up through the roof, as we told you is going to happen. There's enough coffee floating around in the world that a lot of these suppliers should probably be able to find coffee. It's just they're going to probably pay through the nose for it. Peaches were kind of gone. I noticed that. And unsweetened applesauce. Just had a couple of jars left. I didn't take any, but if I had taken some, there wouldn't be much left at all, right? There is salt here at Aldi, and that's a confusing thing because for some reason my Walmart was suddenly out of salt. I don't know what that's about, but are you guys seeing salt shortages where you are? Maybe it's a shipping problem, one-off shipping problem that happened here in Pittsburgh, and that's why we kind of do this kind of thing. Are you guys seeing salt shortages out there? Particularly GV brand iodized salt and GV brand plain salt. Olive oil continues to struggle, but like I said, over the next month or two, we should see the originating shippers of olive oil in Europe. They should be bringing the price down significantly. It's already kind of happening. We should see the price of olive oil be cut in half. Now, that's not to say that the olive oil on your store shelf will be cut in half price-wise, but you should see some savings over the near future. That should also have impacts on other cooking oils as well. But if you're looking for a virgin olive oil or regular olive oil, then you should be seeing some benefits in the next couple of months. They don't seem to be showing up just yet here in Pittsburgh. Other oils like canola, vegetable, all that kind of stuff like that, the seed oils, those seem to be a bit low. The vegetable seems to be doing a little better than the canola for whatever reason. corn oil continues to struggle a little bit there. Some of you guys talked about baking goods, like different random kind of baking goods. People are baking cakes, baking cookies, and all that kind of stuff, baking fruit cakes. That is happening out there. So we seem to be having some issues, not so much in the main flours, but in some of those peripheral baking supplies that are more prone. And it just seems like there's a strain on the supply chain more than what we're used to seeing. But the main things like flour and sugar seem to be in pretty good stock. Speaking of stock, we continue to have issues with beef broth or beef stock. That is not going well, and of course you can make that yourself. So if you buy any hunks of beef with bones in them, or if you get half a cow or a whole cow, you can get the bones, or if you even go to the butchers that do that type of thing, oftentimes they will sell you the bones for cheap, or sometimes they'll just give them to you, and you can use them for bone broth, right? That is good. Having some issues with certain varieties of bacon. And that's kind of the story we're seeing out there, is that just random things seem to be missing. Certain butters, you can see limit 6, that's because it apparently is on sale, but you can see there's no box back there behind it, right? So there it's going to be a limit 0 as soon as they run out. I was there early afternoon, so they unless they did a restock later in the afternoon, we're looking at these things kind of running out, and we're going to see that over in Walmart very shortly. Cottage cheese and light cottage cheese, both gone, and they had that plain light yogurt kind of taking over some of that bottom shelf there, but those 2 cottage cheeses were empty. Are you guys seeing cottage cheese problems where you are? Let me know. Hams, a little harder to find. Usually hams are kind of everywhere about this time of year, but they seem to be trying to still sell turkeys. So not only do we not really have, well, this is what it seemed like. And that's what we were talking about before Thanksgiving. A bunch of the managers seemed to be concerned that they wouldn't get turkeys in time, that they had put in big orders, but they didn't think that they were going to get there in time. It seems like those orders kind of came through, but came through late. And so it seems like a lot of grocery stores have been stuck with a bunch of extra turkeys that they're not prepared for. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say I think they're going to, if they don't get these things sold by Christmas, I think they're going to start looking at discounting these things. So keep your eye on that for sales. But at some point, they're going to get tired of having all these turkeys, because I don't think Americans really like getting turkeys generally beyond Christmas. It's just beyond Thanksgiving and maybe Christmas. So if you're open to some change, you may get a good turkey deal for Christmas if you want to switch from ham over to turkey. I can't do that because I'm inflexible. Ham for Christmas. Well, I'm doing Christmas at my place, and it's just like I already got my ham, so I'm not going to do a turkey. I don't really know how to do a turkey. My mom does turkeys, so anyway. Dino nuggets missing, and then still some issues with those are onion rings that are missing there. So there's that happening as well. Some of the frozen vegetables also an issue. Now, before we get over to Walmart, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. Their phone number is right there on the upper right side of your screen. They're a Christian-based company that really cares about the people that they work with, and it really shows. I haven't really partnered with any other company that people just universally said good things about who have had contact with them, that they don't pressure you, they try to educate you, answer your questions. If you do reach out to them directly, make sure you mention this channel if you choose to go forward, so they do waive the setup fee. But you can call them directly, ask them questions. It's a Sunday, so I don't know if they'll pick up the phone on a Sunday, but you can definitely call them on Monday, and they'll definitely have a good chat with you. They got a bunch of good folks that answer the phone. And of course, if they can't answer your question directly, they'll run it up the flagpole and find someone there who will answer your question to your satisfaction. So great folks over there. Super happy to partner with them. And I really believe getting into precious metals with your IRA is the best way of protecting your IRA. If you have cash outside of a retirement account, you should still be buying physical. That's physical silver, physical gold. I'm more of a silver guy, of course. I've mentioned that before. But anyway, laundry detergents, a little bit low. Not sure why they're not fully stocked on the laundry detergents. It seems like some certain brands are having trouble keeping on the shelves. So it just looks like supply chain issues kind of all around. And we don't really have all that many brands. That's the thing. These companies are all owned by the same people. There's only like 11 companies. Like pretty much all of the brands that you see on your store shelves really come from like 11 different companies. We've talked about that before. These giant globalist corporations that own all these things. Like PepsiCo owns like half the snack aisle, right? And then you got Johnson & Johnson owns like, I mean, it's funny because sometimes you see like 10 different kinds of toothpaste and like several of the brands are owned by the exact same companies. And they seem like competitors, but they're actually owned by the same company. They give you the illusion of choice. Heavy whipping cream looking pretty good there. Even the nut milks over there on the left, they seem to be a little less, but you can see in the back, they just need to pull those forward. Not really sure. I mean, some people using that for health reasons and some people using it for because they're against cows or something. I don't know. Yeah, I get the health thing, but the anti-cow thing I don't fully understand, but you know, that's for me and not for other people, right? So some of the coffee creamers are kind of missing here and there. Not nearly as bad as we've seen elsewhere, but if I were to come back here 4 or 5 hours later, would it look a lot worse? Probably. They seem to be, if you get there too late in the day, tough luck, right? Like I said, the milk section looked actually fairly good. That looks pretty good. Now, once again, if I got there towards the end of the day, would it look the same? I don't know. Cream cheese, low. We saw that the other day. They have GV 2 packs of cream cheese. They got another box in the back there, but that's not enough to get through the end of the day. Everyone's ending up looking at getting forced over onto Philadelphia or fat-free cream cheese, which, I mean, if you make cheesecake out of fat-free cream cheese, that just seems like an abomination. I don't know. $3.54 for a dozen eggs is cheaper than Aldi, which is surprising. But that is a dozen for the rack above. They always put these things that kind of cover up the stickers, so I have to kind of go low to get that picture. But that's what the egg section looks like. Availability good. Price down just a little bit here in Pittsburgh. I expect that to go back up. But most of our egg issues are happening over on the West Coast. So not too surprising that the East Coast is looking fairly well stocked, and we're just going to get price ripples kind of hitting us. Spring water, some of you guys talking about distilled water issues, and just let's just say they just didn't seem fully stocked here. Fake butters, having a few issues. Some of that is fronted, like the Blue Bonnet there. Some others having a little bit of trouble staying in stock, but not too serious. Nothing too serious. Butter. We saw those issues over at Aldi, but we're also seeing those issues here. Now, people are baking a whole bunch of cookies but I mean, that happens every Christmas, so you'd think that they would be on top of that. Usually Walmart is pretty forward-looking, and they do adjust to the seasonal stuff, and they really do move product through. But they don't seem to be keeping up this season with the demand for GV butter. And I think that maybe it's they're used to people buying the more expensive brands, and people are moving over to the cheaper brands. Because look at that, $8.24 for a 4-pack. That's a lot. That's a lot. Or is that an 8-pack? That might be an 8-pack. 2 pounds of butter. But prices for butter have just gone through the roof. Of course, once again, cottage cheese. We see some availability of cottage cheese here, but and some of the sour creams they seem to be having issues with. Once again, the generic. People are switching over to generic. Sugar, fairly well stocked. You may have to buy a 20-pound bag, or, you know, instead of the right kind of that you want. Domino's sugar is the cane sugar, whereas the GV brand, you're looking at that's going to be beet sugar. So you may have to get the wrong kind of sugar. Is one better than the other? Probably. But flour, not too bad. Once again, you're going to have to buy a different size flour than what you want, but availability seems to be pretty good. Are you guys seeing any issues with sugar or flour where you are? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you use the word update if you have something to share. Canola oil looking a little shy here. Vegetable oil looking a little shy over here as well. Particularly those gallon jugs. The smaller bottles seem to be doing a little bit better, but the olive oil section looks a little worse over here at Walmart. Once again, we should hopefully see that kind of fill out in the next month or two. Availability should be up, and but we may see a lot of people stocking up. As the price comes down, we may see a lot of people stocking up. So no GV salt, iodized or plain salt. I was looking to get a bunch of plain salt, and of course, just my luck, it's just gone now. I should have grabbed some over at Aldi, but I was kind of hoping I could still get it here at Walmart. But I'll be going back looking for it again. Let me know in the comments if you guys are seeing salt issues where you are. Pasta, fairly well stocked. Once again, this is early afternoon, so they got lots of penne, but not much rotini or bow tie. I think this is because people are buying more pasta because they're making more stuff at home. I'm probably going to want to make a pasta salad, and I always use the tricolor rotini. Maybe other people are doing something similar. Anyway, beef stock looks a little bit better over here. This is the most beef broth I think I've seen on the shelf for Walmart for months. So that is good, or maybe that's just a one-off. Are you guys continuing to see beef broth issues where you are? Let me know. Green beans, they've had some sales, and it looks like they have a sale going right now, 50 cents for a can of green beans. That is a good price, so I can see why we may be having some availability issues on those. But you know, that is concerning to see canned green beans be in shortage. That's kind of a staple of things. So yeah, definitely stock up on those. If you're looking for green beans, you want to, if you go on their website, walmart.com, I'll see if I can put a link up on the screen, but they do have the multi-packs of green beans. I don't know if those will be at 50 cents per can or less as well, but you can buy those in bulk. I like them shrink wrapped because they're better for storage that way. They're still on the cardboard trays, and then they have the plastic wrap on them that keeps them from going kablooey. And you know, you can stack them on the floor then, as opposed to, but they're a good way to stock up on vegetables. Not the most nutritious, but they will certainly add a little vegetable and green to your diet if you're eating rice and beans, and do so cheaply. Some other things, I think those are GV yams that were out. Certain varieties of beans out. They're really trying to move everyone over these like individual packets, which are really convenient for mashed potatoes, for individuals and really small families, couples, that kind of thing. But they just seem to be having less and less of those boxed mashed potatoes. Lots of stuffing. Kind of indicates once again to me that they got a lot of their Thanksgiving stuff in late. And so now they're stuck with all this Thanksgiving stuff. The meat section looks fairly good. We're seeing some recovery in the canned chicken because we were seeing some issues in the canned chicken section. Still having availability on Keystone meats, but a little bit less availability. That is still the best way of getting ahead of the beef crisis. Either freeze-dried beef, like through Prepper Beef, which I'll put a link down below, or through the canned Keystone meats. Canned Keystone meats are a little cheaper, but the freeze-dried is better kind of over the long haul because it's nice big chunks. They're kind of more like steak. Tuna, canned tuna, GV, some of that missing down there, but the name brand stuff is available, and it looks like the name brand stuff is taking over some of the GV spots because they just don't have enough of it for whatever reason. Vienna sausages, looking fairly well stocked. We had that issue where we had a lot of missing Vienna sausages. Vienna sausages, if you're looking for protein and you like Vienna sausages, that is one of the cheaper ways to go to get canned meat. But it's, you know, it's pulled chicken that's been turned into a paste. Rice availability exists. 20-pound GV, as you can see, is shoved all the way to the back there. There is at least one bag of 20-pounder. If you're going to get rice now, you can't just go on and just fell swoop it unless you're willing to pay for more expensive kinds of rice. You have to kind of trickle your orders into Walmart now. Now, you can still get larger orders at Asian stores. You can get larger orders at some of these like Costco's and Sam's Clubs. But if you're looking at just getting it from the Walmart, which is where basically almost all of my rice has come from, you have to kind of trickle that. I'm kind of refilling my stockpile because I took a trip out to my bug out location and stockpiled a year's worth of rice there. I still haven't released a video on what a year's worth of rice and beans and how to store that in a off-site location. Looks like it's going to be a buried cache in some barrels. I need to get that video kind of thrown together and get that out on my Poplar Prepper channel. Definitely check that out. If you're not subscribed over at my Poplar Prepper channel, I'll try to put a link up at the end of the video for you to kind of check out. Some things like olives. Now, I think that still relates to the old olive shortage. So we should be seeing some relief on that too. It may take a little longer to trickle down, other than the olive oil should flow through a little faster, but the actual olives in jars may take a little longer. Vinegar seems to be restocked fairly well. Apple cider vinegar, of course, is a big one. Be aware of the brands that you are dealing with. There have been some brands that have changed hands to folks that you may not like very much. So, especially the name brand stuff. Some of the salad dressings still kind of not fully stocked. Not sure why they're having issues with salad dressings, but they seem to be. Peanut butter is not fully stocked, and I'm not sure why that's happening as well. We don't have any major disruptions, but let me know if you guys are seeing any issues with peanut butter out there. Coffee seemed to be very well stocked. Maxwell House, Folgers. Folgers we've been having some issues with. They're really well stocked here, but they have kept shrinking this section. And so it used to be a sprawling section. Now it's kind of like a compact section, but they do seem to be filling up the compact section. The other thing to note is the GV brand coffee seems to be taking up less space than before, and they don't seem to have as many varieties of the canned specialty coffees and stuff like that. That's something that we've noticed out there. But they seem to be switching over to the bags for the GV brand coffee. Applesauce seems to be a little bit better over here at Walmart, but still some noticeable gaps there. Applesauce, a lot of that comes from China. I took a picture of somebody else's shopping cart, so feel free to judge them. Anyway, I do a good job not taking pictures of people. I kind of like wander up and down the aisle, wait for people to move, but occasionally you get a shopping cart of somebody. I don't know why you buy those little mini bottles of Diet Coke, but if you're going to get some Diet Coke, make sure you get some big ones, right? Anyway, the chocolate syrup is going to continue to decline. Anything with cocoa in it is going to continue to be an issue. Frozen potatoes here. Some of the hash browns were kind of low in stock. Not sure what's going on with that. Generally, we shouldn't be having issues with potatoes at this point in the year. Later in the year, we may have some issues as we get just before the next harvest. All right, folks, let me know what you guys are seeing where you are. I'm going to put up a shot of Poplar Prepper, which is my channel where I do a lot more practical stuff, walkthroughs, and practical application kind of things. If you haven't checked out that over there, if you want to learn how to get more stocked up practically, that is the channel for you. That's right on the screen. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there's a link right there on the screen as well. And then I forgot what I said I'm going to put down below. I think it's the Prepper beef, freeze-dried beef. That's going to be down in the pinned comment down below. They have a big sale going on right now, too, so you might want to check them out. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.